The original Wife Swap debuted in Britain in 2003. The show was a reality train wreck hit from the start that made its way to the US by 2004. Think you're a stone-cold fan of this domestic juggernaut? Here's what you don't know about Wife Swap. Ever since the genre got big, we've all been asking, how real is reality TV? But while even the most intriguing subjects need a little finessing for the cameras, Wife Swap truly pulled out all the stops to create some impossible drama. As one example of production fairy dust, there's the often outrageous house rules supposedly written by show participants. And it turns out there's a reason why they seemed too incredible. They weren't actually real. They were scripted.
You're gonna do the cleaning and the cooking with a full face of makeup on.
No, I won't.
Bachelor star Sean Lowe learned that lesson the hard way when he suffered severe fan backlash after his stint on Celebrity Wife Swap. According to People, Lowe's wife Catherine was switched with fellow Bachelor star Jason Mesnick's wife, Molly. After Molly was forced to play by the rules and iron Lowe's socks, fans quickly came for Lowe on social media.
This is definitely the most bizarre item on the to-do list.
The reality vet took it in stride, though, pointing out that it's just TV, folks. Still, he assured, Catherine would scratch my eyes out if I ever gave her a to-do list. At the end of each episode, the spouses meet around a table for a debriefing. But while it could be a chance for reflection, it typically devolves into tantrums, screaming, and tears. During one heated table meeting on Season 6, Ro Drago screamed at her husband about his spending habits, saying, "You have a problem too, buddy. Well, own up to it, buddy. Shut up. Shut up."
You know what? I'm leaving. It's not about me. Talk to them. I'm done. I'm through with this crap.
But was this all real? Probably not. According to one past participant, Season 4's Kate Martinez claimed on her blog, "The absolute worst thing about the show is the cut and paste with the table meeting. What they want people to hear and see is all for the sake of good TV and ratings. There is no allegiance to actual reality as we know it." Even so, it appears that Ro Drago has no misgivings when it comes to her enraged exit. She told the Daily News, "I didn't think I was that bad. It was definitely a life experience I'll always treasure." The show portrayed kids as unbelievably well-behaved or out-of-control hooligans, depending on the chosen narrative. But since most children fall within a certain behavioral spectrum in real life, the Wife Swap kids were allegedly treated to some reality razzle-dazzle. Reddit user Supernova, aka Stephen Koopman, who appeared on Season 3 when he was just 10 years old, claimed, "I was framed as addicted to video games, so they took my Xbox and Game Boy Color for the week. A few days in, one of the crew members came in with my Game Boy and said, 'Look, I found this,' and handed it to me. It shouldn't be surprising that they sent the woman staying in our house into my room to catch me in the act."
I can only take this much more of Lynn, and then I'm going to freak.
But it also wasn't unusual for swapped moms and their new charges to form a genuine bond. That was the case with Doreen Flummerfelt and Lachelle Bray from Season 1. Both moms fell hard for their adoptive kids. Flummerfelt would send gifts to Bray's kids every Christmas, and Lachelle chatted on the phone every so often with Flummerfelt's children. Bray told the Baltimore Sun, "Both the boys are wonderful. I just love her kids." Wife Swap has been the subject of 2 lawsuits from past participants. According to the Muskogee Daily Phoenix, Jeffrey Bedford sued Wife Swap production company, RDF, and ABC's parent network, Walt Disney, for $10 million in 2005, citing emotional damages. On his unaired episode, Bedford's wife was switched with a gay man, and when Bedford balked, he says producers refused to tell him where his wife was located until he continued filming. Then, according to Radar, Alicia Gustafaro sued ABC and Disney for $100 million in 2010, claiming to have experienced, quote, "severe emotional and psychological harm." The teenaged former pageant queen alleged that she was made to play the role of the stuck-up narcissist.
"I don't care what other people say, appearance is everything in this world."
Gustafaro says she was portrayed in such a bad light that she had to switch schools in real life to avoid bullying from classmates. Things allegedly became so overwhelming that, according to the AP, Gustafaro entered psychiatric care for post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, an eating disorder, and panic attacks. When it comes to reality TV, ethics sometimes fall by the wayside. And on Wife Swap, the very real participants couldn't have possibly prepared themselves for any backlash. That's because producers allegedly showed them fake, final versions of their episodes before they hit the air. On an Ask Me Anything Reddit thread, Mrs. Ash King, aka daughter Ashley of the Fine family, claimed, "My family was on Wife Swap in 2006. I was 13. My mom, a professional organizer, swapped places with a pirate.
When I found out that she was a pirate, I was like, someone has issues!
When asked if she remembered her classmates' reactions to the show, Ashley claimed the episode that aired was not the same as the one that producers had shown her family. She said, "I was so excited and told everyone about it. We had a big viewing party. We were totally confident with having a viewing party for the episode we saw. But the final cut that we all watched live was less favorable. That bugged me." Each episode of Wife Swap took viewers on a deep dive into the everyday lives of two families, and the spouses' jobs and parenting styles featured heavily in the narrative. When it came to the swaps, opposites were key, switching someone like a working mom with a wife who believed in traditional family values. And Season 1's Christy Oath was portrayed as a crazy workaholic.
They even use spreadsheets to do grocery shopping and put success before family life.
But in reality, Oath had recently been a stay-at-home mom for her kids. It was only after her husband quit a job in Manhattan that she returned to the office. Kate Martinez was also unhappy with how Wife Swap represented her and her husband's passion for martial arts. She blogged, "While yes, we love training, we are nowhere nearly as consumed with it as they made us look. The truth is, it is our business and our livelihood. It is our sole source of income. To imply that we care more about our jobs than our family was by far the single most insulting implication of this stupid show." Each episode of Wife Swap was supposed to document the lives of the chosen families over 2 weeks. But according to show participants, producers engaged in some serious timeline faking and manipulation. As Ashley Fine explained on Reddit, it was 6 days, and the camera crew was there from like 7 a.m. to 2 a.m. every day. They claim it's 2 weeks, but it isn't. They get away with it by saying it's 3 days of mom's rules and 3 days of new mom's rules, which is like 2 weeks? It was an intense 6 days. Kate Martinez claimed to have had a very similar experience. Writing on her blog, Wife Swap claims to be shot over 2 weeks, when in reality, it is shot over 1. She said production would reportedly fake what time of day or night it was, adding, "They black out windows to shoot a night scene, or bring huge lights outside if it's night and they need to shoot a day scene." The reality of appearing on the show definitely involved very serious repercussions for one participant. Stephen Fowler found himself unemployed and very nearly divorced following his portrayal as a verbally abusive husband from hell on Season 5. According to SF Gate, after the controversial episode aired, Fowler was forced to resign from the boards of 2 nonprofits. He was also fired as CFO of a solar energy company, according to the Noe Valley Voice.
You are undereducated, over-opinionated, and you're overweight. It's not a good combination, Gayla.
The British-born Fowler branded his swapped wife, Gayla Long, as a redneck and showed her zero respect. But it wasn't just Fowler's career that was harmed. According to The Voice, the appearance also nearly ended his marriage of 25 years. The couple even had to move to a new neighborhood. Fowler's wife, Renee, publicly apologized for her husband's behavior, saying she even encouraged him to seek professional help. The outlet reported that Fowler was able to maintain his job teaching at the University of San Francisco, but as for once again appearing on reality TV in the future, that'll be a definite no. He said, "I wouldn't recommend it to anyone." At least there is one plus side to putting yourself out there for the world to see. It seems that sometimes reality TV really does pay. And participants on the US version of Wife Swap made some pretty serious bank. According to cast members, they were given $20,000 in return for appearing on the show. As Ashley Fine clarified on Reddit, the initial amount was $20,000, but after taxes, it came to around $15,000 like others had expected. My mom was part of a national group of professional organizers, and they were approached by ABC. The group then nominated my mom, and when we heard you get $20,000, we agreed to do it. I was super excited to be on TV. I was 13. but I was glad when it was over. Haha. Kate Martinez confirmed the appearance fee, blogging, "We thought it would be the chance of a lifetime to get $20,000 and get to experience living in somebody else's shoes." Another reality TV tactic that Wife Swap has been accused of is frankenbiting. It involves editing parts of different conversations together, out of context, to create a new narrative. As Time noted, quotes are manufactured, crushes and feuds constructed out of whole cloth. Episodes are planned in multi-act storyboards before taping, and scenes are stitched together out of footage shot days apart.
You believe that the Earth is flat?
Just makes more sense to me.
Okay.
Dawn Smith claims she was a wife swap frankenbiting victim on season 1. Smith alleged to the Tampa Bay Times, "Participants were coached and goaded into fighting, and it's more of an acting gig than reality. The mom of 2 was friendly and supportive toward her new family when she first arrived, but that wasn't the vibe producers wanted." Smith shared that provocation was employed among the cast, saying things like, "Are you going to take that? Why is he picking on you?" Kate Martinez also alluded to frankenbiting on the show, claiming, "What they don't get in one fluid sentence, they will work out pieces in other conversations, and then cut and paste words together." There were several instances during filming that both Adam and I got into it with the film crew for the ways that they were harassing us. And words from those instances were inserted into other conversations on the show. Some people will do just about anything for their 15 minutes of fame, even if they're already famous. And such was the case with 90s-era rapper Coolio. Perhaps in a bid to fire up his flagging career, the musician appeared on Celebrity Wife Swap in 2013. And Coolio's girlfriend, Mimi, switched places with actor-singer Mark McGrath's wife, Karen.
I'm Mimi.
That's my girlfriend, Mimi.
I'm his girlfriend.
The episode was suitably train wreck-tastic, with Coolio really playing up the role of the jerk. He was so convincing as a horrendous husband that it left viewers wondering why anybody in their right mind would ever consider dating him. So, was Mimi insane? Nope. Instead, it turns out she was never even actually his girlfriend. The couple hadn't ever been romantically involved. It was all just faked for the cameras. Coolio eventually came clean about the dating deception. The MC turned actor and producer insisted that he wasn't the culprit in the couple's con, blaming the show's producers instead. As he explained to the Daily Record, "Listen, it was all set up. I am nothing like that. I'm not even with Mimi. I never was. She's a friend of mine. They tried to make me look bad. I don't want to do that stuff again. I'm going to concentrate on my music and food shows from now on." Thankfully, Coolio is not a real-life terrible husband, and he and Mimi went on to live happily ever after, separately. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite reality stars are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.